Hello. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Oh, how's everybody doing? How am I doing? I don't even know how I'm doing. I need to learn some stuff today. Let's learn some stuff together, shall we? Just give me a sec here to clean up. Hello, DJ. How are you today? How has your day been? How's your weekend been? How's life? This is already too loud. I'm so bad at picking volume and just sticking with it. Okay, I am gonna work on this chatbot thing because I've got a million things I want to try with it. So I'm still chipping away. Bin? Bin? True, fair. Bean versus bean. Everyone says bean differently too. What do I want to do here? Okay, I actually had something worked on. So, like, 3 weeks ago. Nice. Congrats. I used to play footy ball long time ago. I guess 20 years ago now. Sheesh. Almost 20 years ago. I was not a big offensive player, so scoring a goal was a pretty rare thing for me. But congrats. Good job. Go you. You want to change the color on this thing. Let's do sign. Yeah, I was always like midfield or defense. Let's get some color in this thing. Boom. Alright. Okay. So what are we using? We're using request promise. This did nothing for me. What is request promise? Let's look this up. 44, okay, yeah. Yeah, nice. Like, kind of like Rocket League, right? Like, I've watched a bit of Rocket League. I get with small teams like that, you kind of got to be everywhere. Request promise. Yeah, I get that. Sweet. Deprecated. Outdated. No good. That's okay. Issue request client request. Exactly. You're playing a game based loosely on Rocket League. Request mover. Okay, so promise. Request became a peer dependency. Blah blah blah. How do I use it? Still don't really get how to use it. Okay, so I got build, coverage, dependencies, vulnerabilities. Just tell me how to use it. New change expected land. None have landed for some time. Okay. We're listing alternative libraries. Alright, I'll just switch to something else. It says that we can try Axios. I'm gonna try Axios. Alright, so I'm gonna install that, hopefully, maybe. Yeah, this is right. npm install Axios. npm install update npm. I'm just over here doing some stuff, installing some things. Request to load all depths and ideal. Okay, so it's updating some junk and things and stuff. That's cool. It's cool, DJ. You are looking to start school soon, aren't you? Or are you having to wait till next term? Okay, so we got Axios. I'm gonna do it non-globally too. I don't really get how npm puts things, so I'm just gonna do both versions. Added 2 packages, remove 8 packages. Yeah, that's all fine. Oh, you have school. Nice. That's awesome. I mean, it's good, right? Because I know you were excited about it. I thought. Anyway. Nope, can't spell. I don't even know what Chiro is. Can I quit this? Can I quit? Terminate batch job? Yes. Okay, try this again. npm install cheer eo. Select edit and view elements. Okay, cool. Hopefully that'll do the thing that I want it to do. That's awesome. Honestly, that's great. I think that's means you have a good experience. I like small classes. I teach a lot of small classes. Some small classes, let's put it that way. How do I work with Axios? Already turning down music even more. What is with that? Hang on. Oh, whoops. Everything got like moved down in a weird way. Here we go. Oh, I think I know why. That's probably why. Huh. Interesting. Alright, that's cool. That's neat. That sounds cool. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Hey, I was young too. I was 16 for my first month of college, so I get it. It's not something that you like to necessarily advertise a bunch, right? Alright, requests can be made by passing the relevant config. Okay, so we send to Axios method URL. Nice. This looks like exactly what I want. Get URL. Response type stream. Then function response. Write stream to a file. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Alright, let's see how we can work with this. Let's wire Axios. Okay, so then we're doing something like Axios. That's funny. They come in all types, right? That's funny. Okay, so let's call this request, I guess, or HTTP. Let's call it HTTP, and then we will make it an object. Method is, I can't remember how I set this up, so let me peek at my other code here. Got content state block. Yep. Got update content, which is using get. Okay, that makes sense. So I want to also be using get. So the goal here at the moment is to try to get this box to disappear on command from the chatbot. So let's try it out. All right, so the URL I have already down here, so grab that. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah. It's a pretty different sort of thing once you get out of primary school. That's what we call it. Like going to college and stuff. It's a completely different setup, like just a few hours each week and stuff. Data. Yeah, so I need to pass this function and some arguments. We're not even using the arguments right now, I think. Oh, you're not? Am I? Sorry. Maybe I'm a... Getting ahead of you, huh? Okay, gotcha. You know, I think you were talking to me like you were getting ready to go to college. Or at least that's how I interpreted it, so I guess I've been confused for a long time. It's funny. Okay. Hey. I'm doing alright. Dumazi, welcome. How you doing? Doing alright. I'm back to working on the chatbot today. I'm working with Axios now. I'll just call it Axios. I should have done I am good, though. Access here. There's a lot of junk over here that doesn't seem to really do much. Trying to just remember where I was because it's been weeks since I looked at this, unfortunately. So I just need to recall. Nice, that's cool. Toggle box, sorry. Okay, so function. We need to tell it what the function is. So data here is function. Oops, cannot spell. I hope that I can do that. Maybe I have to do it with quotes. And then the one that I wanted was toggle box. And then I think that's enough. So I'm following along with this sort of example here. It looks pretty straightforward, that's why I kind of like it. So I'm hopeful. Method get request response type stream. I don't even know that I need a response. Okay, so then we're gonna Axios this, and then we're gonna throw HTTP in there, and then dot then, and I think it's response. Is it with arrow or yeah, I know. Well, I'll break it down for you. Here, just give me a sec. So, this is just a bunch of information that we're passing in to tell it what kind of website we're going to and what to do there. So this is obviously the website URL, and in my version it's this. And then here we're saying, okay, there's basically two major ways, and I'm not a web developer, so I could probably tell you something a little bit dated here, but there's two big ways to get a website. One is post, which is like sort of hiding the information you're sending the website. With get, it's all kind of out in the open, but it's easier to work with, so that's why I'm doing get. And then down here, we're just passing some values, some information. In this case, what I wanted to do, or what I'm trying to do, is to work with this file, which currently controls this little box down here. And when I pass it a function, and I call that function toggle box, it should make the box disappear, or come back if it's already disappeared. So I'm saying, let's use get as our method, let's go to this website, and let's pass it a function called toggle box. And then if it all goes according to plan, this thing will go away when we call it. So now I just have to figure out what to do with the response. And actually, I'm realizing I don't care about the response, because often with web pages, what we're trying to do is to go to a page and then retrieve some information from the page. But in this case, I just want to go to the page so that it can do its thing, and then I don't really care what it sends back to me. So I wonder if I can just do that and just be done with it. Box go bye-bye. Exactly, you got the gist, you're good. Alright, so okay. So I'm already running the bot. Let me turn off the bot and then turn it back on. Uh-oh. Alright, so we're having an error. You guys can see what I'm doing. Yeah, man. Okay, so here it's not liking my code. It's trying to load something. It's looking at function module resolve name. Trying to find where it's falling apart here. JS command dice. Interesting. So we can see here that it throws an error. Cannot find module. Okay, tmi.js. Interesting. I might have changed that code, but no, I must. Yeah, that's weird because I just now was running the bot up top. So why would it break if I was just doing it? It's weird. .tmi. I mean, it's got a double slash. Maybe that's the problem here. Maybe I just need to get rid of one of these slashes. Try it again. Okay, still doesn't know how to find tmi.js. TMI is the Twitch. I don't know what the M stands for, but the TMI is the Twitch interface, the Twitch API that lets us actually make the chatbot chat. So it's kind of important. I don't know why it suddenly can't find this. Let me do a check over here on my other screen. tmi.js. Let me see if it needs updating or something. Okay, just found 0 vulnerabilities. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, it seems somehow my my package, my what do you call it? Okay, so I mean I can just show you what I'm doing here. npm is a little tool that is for installing libraries of node.js code, which is the sort of runtime that I'm using here. And I've just been installing things like Cheerio and TMI, and I also updated npm, so I'm guessing that by doing that I must have sort of invalidated my my library packages, so I'm gonna have to probably, from the looks of it, reinstall all of them. Exactly, right? I don't know, someone decided to call it Cheerio. People name things weird stuff. Pip pip Cheerio. No, it's cool, it's cool. No, you're good. Alright, so I guess there's just those sort of two-ish things, I guess. Alright, so now the bot is working again. And so if we've done anything right whatsoever, where was it? Toggle box should do something. Attempting to run toggle box, so we see that's happening. So that's good. It does not appear that anything actually happened, because obviously the box is still there. But there's one thing I can check, which I think I could just do over here. No, it's not Twitch. Why did I go to Twitch? Why am I always trying to go to Twitch? Let's grab this thing. Oh, you know... Yeah, sort of doing some redundant stuff here, but that's okay. Content state.txt, this little text file. Oh, there's like a weird extra quote somewhere, quotation mark. Content state. Yeah, there's a double quote at the beginning here. Block. So block is what would tell it to be visible. So it didn't change. So something went wrong there. Let's try the response thing. That was the other piece of this here, where it said, okay, let's do something with the response that we get back from the page. I do need to think about this response type thing. Let me see if I can find any documentation that explains that. Method. Convenience alias, support request methods, okay. Put get, here's get, okay, cool. Creating an instance. Below, okay. Okay. I think I know what I'm going to try to do here. I just need to get some more feedback to figure out why this is not working. So we're going to create a little function here. With this part, with the .then, what we're saying is, hey, when you get some response back from the page, let's run some code to use that response in some way. So here, as their example, they're using it to write a JPEG file. So they're downloading from a bit.ly link that is probably already the JPEG data, and then just using it to write to a file with the name Ada Lovelace. So in my case, I think really what I want to do is just add some console logging magic here. So console.log response. Hopefully that'll do something. I don't know what the response is going to be, but we'll see something. Hopefully. Hopefully. I say that a lot. Okay, so let's go back over here. We'll kill the bot. We'll run it again to run the updated code. We will try togglebox again. Alright, so we're getting some information. We're actually getting a whole lot of information here. Attempting to run togglebox, so we got some stuff here. Status text header, connection close. This is indeed the place that we went. Transform response and request. Lots and lots of stuff happening here. Header. Type function was non-pending output. Probably way more information than I'm ever gonna need here. Whoops. I'm just looking for something here that I can recognize. Request received, function requested toggle box, attempting to toggle box. File result was block. File currently says block, replacing with none. File overwrite successful. Okay, so this part right down here is the actual text output of my web page. So that is supposed to send the signal to change this file right here to not say block anymore, but to say none, which it does, which is great. So then the problem is on our little BarkBot screen, it's not paying attention to that like it's supposed to. So I think I'm missing something. So let's jump back to Dreamweaver, where dreams are woven. Let's look at our content page. This is the actual HTML that's running our BarkBot screen right here. And what it's supposed to do... Okay, so to understand what it's doing, on load it's going to run this initialize function here, which runs this. And it says grab a box. Oh, I deleted the log. Probably shouldn't have deleted the log. I'm gonna undo a bunch of stuff that I did right before stream. I got rid of a handful of things. I got rid of the button, which I'm actually still fine with, but the log got rid of that too. So I suppose that possibly some code is not running correctly because I made those changes. But the one thing that I will keep is the color change, because I think the white's too white. The button, yes, there was a button under there. There's no more button. Alright, so let's update that. Let's refresh it here on the screen. Okay, so it disappeared, right? So let's run togglebox. Which apparently does nothing this time, which is weird. Why does it do nothing this time? Excellent. Good enough for me, you know? No problem. Sorry, my eyes are itching. Okay, so I don't think it listened to me this time, which is interesting. Okay, so let's make some adjustments. Obviously, printing the entire response is ridiculous. So let's do this instead. Received response from the URL, and then here we'll go with response.data, because that's the thing that actually has the information that I care about, which is just like the most basic output telling us what happened. Hello, Pope, how you doing? What's up, Mr. Pope? How's your day going so far? I am working on a chatbot, slowly but surely making some progress, I think. There's like a little box that's supposed to show up right here. That is not working. So I'm gonna run it one more time. Autobot. Nice, good to hear, good to hear. Good old housework. Love it, gotta love it. Can't live with it, can't live without it. Alright, I'm gonna try running this command again. Togglebox. So, the feedback we're getting is attempting to run togglebox, received response, request received, function requested togglebox, attempting to togglebox. This is just a ton of like extra output that the page is telling me blow by blow everything that's happening. So the file result was block, file currently says block, replacing with none, file overwrite successful. So that would actually make the box disappear. Obviously it's already disappeared, like it's not there. So let's run it again. And what's weird is that I seem to have to hit a key to make it go the second time. So now it's replacing with block. Block is what's supposed to make it show up. The page is not listening. Something is going wrong in the page. I need to kind of figure out what that is. So let me do this. Let's open up the page manually. Oh, there we go. Logging initialized. See, that's interesting. That took a really long time to happen. I wonder how long that's actually been there. Maybe it was already there and I just couldn't see it. There's some kind of problem on the page, so we just gotta figure out what that problem is. So let's go to the page directly. What is the URL? I'm bad at URLing. I'm bad at me-RLing. It's content.html. Here it is. Logging initialized. So let's run the command one more time. I'm gonna just spam my own chat for a second. And that makes it disappear. So that's working. I guess what's not working is just this page over here is not paying attention. It's not updating correctly, which is interesting. So let me check my settings on that. I know, right? Audio, refresh browser when scene becomes active, refresh cache of current page. Okay. I'm gonna refresh the cache on the page. So there it is. And it went away. Okay. Takes about a second, up to a second or so. We should see it appear here, and then also, like, I guess you guys can't see my mouse when I try to gesture in that area. We should see it here too. That's the weird part, is it's not listening down here. So it becomes active, shut down the source when not visible. It's so strange. Custom CSS background color. I'm just looking at some OBS options here. Let me make sure that I updated the page correctly. Let's update it here. And then we will refresh. Hi, I'm BarkBot. And it goes away, which is wrong. That's strange. Because this page and what you see down here should be identical pretty much all the time. So something definitely strange is happening there. Let's look at this page again. It says block. That means it should be visible. So yeah, this box is not reading this correctly. So I need to know what's happening here. Let's log some messages, shall we? Logging is initialized. Toggle box. Setting interval here. Check state file. This is supposed to be looking at that page and looking at whether it says block or not. Context state.txt. Onload equals function set to place box request.response. So let's do this. Let's log that. Trying to think of like what to actually put here. Log checking state file. And then down here we say log received response from state file. It was, and then request.response goes here. Okay, we got logs everywhere. Alright, this is red, and I don't know why. The value of attribute onload must be in double quotes. Okay, I mean it has been working up till now, but sure. Let's appease the Dreamweaver. Okay, so now we refresh. Hi, I'm BarkBot. Alright, and we can't really read that, but now we can. Checking state file. Receive response from state file. It was none. It was none. Okay, so it's getting the results, but not correctly. Because this is the actual text that it should be getting is block. So I don't actually know where it's getting that information. Very interesting. This part right here is supposed to force it to request even when it thinks it might still have it. I mean, everyone knows how caching works, right? Like you go to a web page, it stores some pretty basic information about the page on your computer somewhere, so that if you go again, it doesn't have to start from scratch to pull that information. You can force it to pull with like Control F5 on Chrome, and I think other browsers have a similar thing. In order to make sure that the code that we're running does the same sort of thing, we add this extra time stamp to it to ensure that it thinks of it as a new page and not the same page. Alright, DJ. I always appreciate you coming by. Everyone, I'll give you a shout out before you go. But you have fun too. Go check out DJ. She's super awesome. Alright, so... no problemo. Have a good rest of your weekend. Good luck in school. I'm sure you'll do great. Alright, quest open, get... yeah, so that's the thing. I want to grab this URL that I'm doing here and kind of see what it is and see what's happening with that. And then I'm going to log the URL. Let's see. Let's see this. Preparing to send request to URL plus URL. And we'll plop that URL again here. An error occurred. That's not happening. Receive responsive state file. It was blah. Okay. Let's see. What the heck is hecking up over here? Alright. So, refresh this page. Should start spamming all kinds of information here. Preparing to send request to URL content state time equals function now. Okay, so that would do it. This right here is not at all what I meant to see. Okay, so I definitely screwed this up. Let's see. JavaScript date.now. I thought date.now was a thing I could call. Oh, it's a function. That could explain it. Turns the number of milliseconds since January 1st, 1970. Spoiler alert, this is how we handle time in programming, is how many seconds since January 1st, 1970. I think there's different protocols now. So what I was missing here was a pair of parentheses, which is a pretty classic, I mean, it's honestly like a rookie mistake, but it's a pretty classic error because it doesn't throw errors directly. It just doesn't work the way you want it to. So let's run this again. Preparing to send request to blah blah blah, received response, it was block, it was block. Okay, so really this is just the function running every, I forget how often, it's like every 2 seconds or something. That just checks that information to see what it should be doing. And it's constantly the same, which makes sense. But as soon as we throw in toggle box, it's gonna change the response. It changed it from block to none. And so now we just need to refresh our screen one more time. And there's the none. And then all the garbage logging that gets added, but that's okay. We can ignore that for a second and then toggle it back on. And there it is. We did it. I did it. We did it. Chat. We did it. I'm like way off camera. All right. Yes. All right. Cool. Okie dokie. So, so I just thought of something that I want to try adding here. Yes, good. Okay, let's keep this simple, shall we? Let's. I'll leave this. I'll just comment it, turning it into non-code. All right, let's sort of simmer down on the logging that's happening there. Refresh the screen. You guys still can't really see the logging, which I guess is fine because I don't want you to be bogged down with that. All right, so now we can make it appear and disappear, and that makes me a happy boy because that's like phase 1 of this master plan of mine. Okay. So where do we want to go with this? Let's have some fun with it, shall we? Let's have a little fun. So what I want to do next, I think, is instead of just the omnipotent sort of monolithic toggle box command, let's make this a lot more interesting. Let's let people write messages on the screen. Will I regret it? Probably. At some point, I'm sure I will. But for now, I will be just happy to make that work. So, I've been thinking about this for a while. I've been thinking about this whole project a lot. even though I haven't had any time to work on it. So I think what I want to do with this content state thing is to turn it into some JSON thing. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, and it's like a pretty well-known protocol for organizing information into a text file so that you don't have to write this sort of, you know, to parse this out. If it were any more than one word, I'd have to write this whole, you know, parsing system to say, okay, if I had more than one piece of information here, which piece goes where, like where does it all sort of need to end up? But JSON makes that really easy because it's just sort of built into JavaScript, which is what I'm running here on the end anyway. So I think that that's the formatting that I want to try to get going here. One thing that would be really helpful would be if PHP, which is the script that I'm running on the back end to receive the commands, if I could get that to create the JSON for me, then I think that would make my life pretty easy. Because otherwise I end up with the opposite side of the problem, which is how do I write the JSON? It becomes its own issue. So if we just use a protocol that's known as well as JSON is, and we have sort of pieces on both sides to both write and read, then it makes the whole problem significantly simpler than it would be if I had to do that from scratch. So, I think before I even do that, let's write a little extra piece here. Because I like the logging, but I don't like it to have to be there all the time. And so what I think I want is for the version I show on screen not to bother with logging. But if I go to the page on my own and I want to sort of debug what's happening, or maybe I even want to turn on logging to debug down here, and I keep gesturing at OBS, which you can't see. But like, if I want to add logs here, I want to be able to do that easily enough, but I don't want it to be like permanent and always on. So I can add a little flag to turn it on or off here in the code for the HTML page. That's the plan. So what I need there is to figure out how to handle get on JavaScript. JavaScript, I can't spell, JavaScript, get. Read get variables, there you go. How to get variables value in JavaScript. Documentation, index of, query document string, replace, oh my gosh. So this person, Stack Overflow is our friend, by the way. It's just a really great place to get questions that are similar to ours and then answers from various people. This person is saying to go ahead and write a parser. And I feel like that's not the simplest way to do it. No, this person's doing the same thing. That feels a little sad. Regex is definitely not a thing that I'm excited about. Regex is regular expressions. It's things like this. So what they're doing here is they are getting the URL of the page, turning it into a string, and then they're replacing all of these characters with nothing. And then finding any of these characters and replacing them with nothing. And then splitting out anything that has the ampersand. And when you do get, it's always in the form of some URL. It would be something like content.html and show log equals true. That's the kind of thing that I'm going to want to add there. That's how get works. So I just need to, yeah, I guess I do need to do the parsing manually, which is a little sad, but fine. That's such is life. Okay, so let's grab, or write a function here rather. Function parse get. Okay, so they are suggesting that we use oh, I actually had it wrong. It's not this, it's gonna be that. Question mark. Question mark is what it is. Yeah, I just noticed that they are doing a check for question mark here. Okay, so let's do this. I like to kind of store all that information. So URL let's call it this URL equals null. I kind of want to pull this up toward the top because it feels like something we're going to want to do pretty much immediately. Okay, so then this URL equals, and then how do they do it? Document.location .toString. So it's going to grab the URL, and then what we want to do probably is parse that information. So here we're going to grab the URL, which we already got the URL, but let's find out if it has a question mark in it. So index, let's go var index of get begin equals this URL dot index of question mark. This will just tell us where the first question mark appears, and if there is no question mark, it'll be a -1. So just to be sure, we'll say if index of get begin is -1, then we're pretty much done. Whoops. Yeah, no, that's formatting's right. I don't know why I did that. Return just means quit the function, don't do anything else. But if it's not, then we're going to want to grab the information after that. So var variables equals, let's call it variables string. So then we're going to grab this URL, which is again a string, so we're kind of just doing string parsing here. We'll do substring. Let's see, substr takes in a number and a length. Substring takes in a number from and an ending number, which feels better. So yeah, they're both good options, but this one just seems simpler. Index of get begin +1, because we're going to find that question mark, we're going to move 1 after it to find the actual information. And then we're going to go with this URL dot length, is it? Yeah, -1. And that'll be basically from right after the question mark to the very end. And then we just need to split that apart. Thinking. Yeah, let's call this variable pairs equals variables string dot split at every question mark, or not question mark, ampersand. So this was get everything after question mark. This one right here is split apart between every ampersand. Now there might not be an ampersand, and probably in this case, at least to begin with, there won't be, because I'm only doing the one variable. Where was it? Just the one. The next step will be, but if I had multiple variables, that's where I would do something like and sky equals blue. So this would be one variable with a name and a value. This would be another variable with a name and a value. So we're just sort of splitting apart those pairs. And then the last step will be to split the equal sign so that we can differentiate the name of the variable with its value. So this is going to be an array. And this right here is just a string. Okay, so then we're going to get, we'll say for var pair in variable pairs. I don't know why it's doing this formatting so weirdly. I don't like it. What's the pair going to be? That's going to be, I think, an index. So we'll split it out. Okay. So, let's do var get equals an array. Yeah. Okay. So get at the index of, hang on, we'll have to split it up. Okay, so variable var pair as string. Maybe this is pair index. That's what I think it's going to be. Pair index or pair s string equals variable pairs at, I'll just call this index. Dot split again. This time we're going to split where we see an equals sign. And then get at pair as string left side equals pair as string right side. Is that right? So this is actually not going to be an array, it's going to be an object. So the thinking is we sort of create this map up top where we take the left side before the equals and then we assign to it the right side. It's just sort of going to be a nice easy way to look it up later. Okay. Okay, so then my thinking is if get at show log is true, then we're gonna do logging on the screen. Whoops, that goes there. And so again, the whole idea is that I'm gonna say show log equals true or show log equals false. And so if I say it to true, then we're gonna start seeing all the logging happening. But if I don't say that, then this ends up being false and no log should appear. That's the idea. All right, so let's try this. Run it again. Okay, so I did not say show log true, so we're not seeing any logging messages, even though there should be at least the one that says logging initialized here. So that seems like that part of it, or that version of it is good. So now let's do show log equals true. Oh no, okay. I did it wrong, Okay, so it should not be an ampersand here, it should be a question mark. And I did show long, I don't know why, but there we go. So that turns on the logging. Cool. So then coming back over to OBS and what I'm doing over here, all I need to do is open this up and not tell it show log true, and you'll see that this version, once I refresh, no longer shows the log. So now, toggle box makes the thing completely invisible. Such a goofy thing. Like, how many hours have I spent just getting that box to disappear? Box went bye-bye. Alright, so, and you saw it disappear over here too. Okay, so like I said, the next step will be to make it show, like let's clean this up. Not clean it up, maybe that's not the right term for it. But let's adjust this file to be a bit more robust, not just have a single word thing going on. So I need to figure out how PHP handles JSON, if PHP handles JSON. Write JSON. And generate JSON file with PHP. JSON encode. Alright, looks like PHP has a JSON encode. I like that. That sounds great. Returns a string containing the JSON representation of the supplied value. Sweet. The value being encoded can be any type except a resource. All string data must be UTF-8 encoded. Okay. PHP will superset JSON as specified in the original RFC. Okay. I'm sort of curious. Okay, so they're doing it with an array. And so what it'll do is key value pairs like this. And then down here, it'll print out like that. Okay, that makes sense. Here, they're showing another array. Foo, barbaz, JSON code. Okay. Got it. Okay, so if it's an array that just comma separates values and doesn't use this format of key and value, then it's going to look a little different. It's going to treat it as an array. With square brackets, that's an array. Where the version up top had curly braces. These are all just sort of JSON concepts. Okay, cool. That seems pretty straightforward, honestly. So let's try something, shall we? Let's create a new function idea. Let's call it BarkBot says, and then I'll write a function for it. Function BarkBot says. BarkBot says return. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself for sure because I should just, excuse me. Sorry. I should just get it to start writing the JSON with what I already have, which is the toggle box. Just keep it simple. Okay, so I just need to change the overriding of the state here. So let's sort of think about what it should kind of look like. Something like this. Maybe I'll do like show and then block or none. I'll keep that part. So this will be, and you can't do comments in JSON, so I can't really comment it. Well, I guess that I'm not really going to keep this anyway. Block equals show, none equals invisible. And then after block, or after the show, what would I call it? I think, okay, so I guess that maybe text. And then some value. Seems reasonable. So that's a good place to kind of start, is just with this information. Okay, so if that's what we're kind of going for, that's pretty straightforward. Let's do another variable. Let's call it state string. And it's going to be some object. I guess we don't really do objects. Let's do an array. Thinking about this again, how do I do this? What's the good way to do this? Okay, so I think we need to kind of initialize the state string to be what we want it to be. I wonder if this works with classes. Does PHP have classes? I think it does. Okay, cool. So here's what we're going for. So it's going to be show crud. We're gonna have to read first. I actually don't know. Yeah, this probably shouldn't be anything except reading from what's already in the file. So that means I just need to do a lot of what I'm doing here. So let's get the file contents. Okay, and then we're gonna JSON decode that. So this would be state array equals JSON decode. State string. So we're gonna grab whatever's currently in there, and I suppose that for now I should just write this out the way I have it here. Let me check something before I commit that. Let's go with display instead of show, because I'm just trying to make it like somewhat match terminology here, so I don't get all bogged down in some invented terminology that I've made up. Okay, so let's say, hi, I'm BarkBot. That'll be like my default message. Let's just bring the box back, because it's cool. Hey, I'm so excited. I'm so proud of my BarkBot. Okay, let's bring him back. Text. Yeah. Okay. I know that someone somewhere is gonna... Never mind, I'm not gonna say it out loud. Okay, so, BarkBot says, yeah, we'll come back to you. I don't really care. What is your problem anyway? Expected identifier t-string. Oh, right, colon. Missing a colon there. Okay. So instead of constantly reading the text, I just need to do some stuff. Instead of result here, we're gonna go with, yeah, okay. So find display equals state array let's call it current display equals state array at value of display. If current display equals none, or no, if it equals block, no, if it is not already none, then make it none. This is confusing. Okay, so if it's block, make it block. Else, or no, if it's block, make it none. If it's not block, we're gonna make it block. Current display. Okay. And then we are gonna open the file. We are going to write to the screen. If we have an error, we're going to write new contents. No, we're going to instead create our state string again. Equals JSON encode state array. In fact, I should call it state map. That'll make me feel happier. Is it Control RR thing? Alright, I'll just do a find and replace. Replace it with state map. Because in programming, when you have like a string that you use to look something up, that's usually called a map. Alright, replacing all of that with state map. And then we're going to write state string here. Okay, if all has gone to plan, then this should hopefully update correctly. Yes. So now we've updated the text file on the server. So now it says that, which is well-formatted JSON. And now I want my PHP to write a sensible value for that. So to test it, I can open the page. The barking otter / sandbox. Hey, what's up, Jerry? How you doing? I am farting around. I got it to toggle. It toggles. Look, 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 look. Toggle box. Look, look. Oh no, it's gonna break. It's not gonna break right. It's not gonna work right now. But I got the box to disappear with a command, so that's my excitement. My grid news for the day. Alright, how are you today? Content state, what did I call this? Update content. And then question mark function equals toggle box. Request received, function requested toggle box, attempting a toggle box. File currently says blah, replacing with block. File overwrite successful. That doesn't sound successful. Null. Okay, so maybe not that. Right? Okay, cool, cool, cool. I took your advice, by the way. I looked into TypeScript, and I'm working on converting this over. So I've got like a half converted version of this now, running in Visual Studio as well, which which I'm happy about, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. So I guess what I need to know is, what is the state map? What is the state string? So let's go with write to screen state string is, how did I do this? Okay, yeah, I can just sort of append the text together. You're saying TypeScript is a disease? What's a disease? State string, and then I think I can. No, I'm with you. Gotcha. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I like the idea, so I went with it. What is the PHP function to like dump an array? I know there's a way to do it. PHP print array. Print R, that's the one. Okay. Print R. State map. And then write to screen. Let's do this. Write to screen as a map. And then write to screen. Nothing. Just to get a line break in there. Push that up. The joys of debugging server-side code. Alright, let's get this back to the state it should be. Update. That's the word I'm looking for. Yes to all. You, I think I already did that, but double checking. Okay. So, what's our file look like now? Looks like that. And this state string is display block text hi and BarkBot as a map is absolutely nothing. Fantastic. Alright, so I'm missing something here. What is decode gonna do? It's JSON string. Associative is null. JSON string being decoded only works with UTF-8 encoded strings. Maximum nesting depth. I'm trying to understand. I mean, I guess that I might want this. So there's some extra parameters. Have you not? Okay. I don't know. Where did I even pick it up? I think I got it surely from an old tutorial when I was like making Flash games like a decade and a half ago. Why does this not want to work for me? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I just sort of keep using it, even though I know it's kind of not the best thing. Okay, so we're gonna pass it the string. We're gonna pass it. Yes, it should be associative. I think that's probably just the thing we need to do. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'm not a web guy. I don't know how many times I can say it, but I feel like I need to keep repeating that for people who come by and they're looking at me hacking stuff. So everything I do is a little bit hacky. Okay, so let's just see if this does anything different. I think the part that I might need to... Alright, Pope, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you coming by. Okay, so let's push that up. Hello, goodbye. Let's make sure that this is correctly displaying, and then this will parse it. Did nothing whatsoever to change the output. This is still null, so that's no bueno. I'm missing something here. We got the right string. String looks okay. Doesn't it? Or am I missing something here? I think... Oh, I'm missing a comma. That's probably why. There's no comma between these two. So that would definitely screw it up. So let's try that. Push that up. Make sure that's still there. Push that. Ah, here we go. Okay, much better. Display is block. Text is high. I'm gonna toggle box. File currently says blah. Replacing with block. Okay, so not quite where we need to be, but progress. Progress is progress. So file currently says blank. Replacing with block. Double check what I'm doing there. Double check what the file says. Null again. Okay. So attempting to toggle box. State map should have some value for display. Currently says blank. Am I doing this wrong somehow? Like, shouldn't this be how you index into the associative array? Yeah, progress. Alright, PHP associative array. Yeah. I did call it the same thing. Map at display. They're using single quotes, but I thought those are interchangeable. Yeah, they're doing double quotes here and single quotes here, so I think they're interchangeable. Age as blah equals blah. Huh. I guess let's try it. Let's do echo age of Peter. $35. Okay. I mean, it seems like it's doing the thing. One sec. Okay. Cool. Good. No. Okay. So, right? Yeah. So it's still grabbing contents, and it's writing that, and the fact that it's writing it seems to suggest that it's okay. This is all good. And then we're decoding that into this state map, and then we're printing with print R, which is what I've highlighted here. So it seems right. Like, here's display block. So when I look for state map and I grab display, I would expect this to be. I'm not using triple equals. Okay, so let's say if the age of Peter equals 35. Is it going to be a string? I guess it's a string. Treat it as a string. Echo BR. Peter is old. I did that weird. Control S. Bad but good habit. Oh, really? Peter's old. I mean, it likes it here. It seems fine. So if I did something like, I mean, let's just do exactly what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm trying to think of how to really test this. Okay, let's do print R, actually. Print R, age. Run. Right, Peter 35, Ben 37. I mean, it looks the same. That's the weird thing. I need to toggle box, state map. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's worth trying. And you push as well. And cache. I'm pretty sure I updated you. Huh. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know when to use one versus the other myself. Okay, there we go. Here. Yeah, file currently says blanky blank, replacing with block. What the heck is missing here? Alright, so, I mean, I guess I'll just write more garbage. Write to screen. I need to find a good debugger for PHP. I don't really know how that would work, though. I guess you might have to open a socket or something. Yeah, let's just do that, I guess. Come on. Does not like when I try to push 2 files at once. Right? Okay. Blank. Yeah, weird. So, what am I doing that's breaking it? Because state map is fine here. Did I spell it differently? No. Did I do something to bust it? It's received. Function requested was toggle box. Attempting to toggle box. Right to screen, current display. It's so strange. Am I spelling something wrong? I don't think so. I did say something about UTF-8 encoding. I don't actually know what encoding this is going to use. Huh. I don't actually know how to do that. Check. Text file encoding. It's like, that couldn't be the problem, right? Because if it were an encoding issue, then this would not be right. Somehow it's just cleaning it out. I guess do a print R. Again. Okay. What? Is there some weird scoping thing that I'm not thinking of? You know what? I bet that's what it is. I think scope is weird in PHP. PHP variable scope. I think I have to explicitly make something global. I think that might be what's happening. However, okay, so the scope of variable is a context. For the most part, only have a single scope. Spans included in required files as well. Here, it will be available within the included script. However, within user-defined functions, a local scope is introduced. Any variable is by default limited to the local function scope, so not produce any output. Local version of the... yeah, okay. Global. Okay, alright. This is where PHP screws me up today. Maybe somewhere else as well. Ugh, that's a goofy. That's like... it feels like the most backwards way of handling it. Right? Exactly. Like, that's the opposite of every, you know, version of scope I've ever seen. Seriously. Realsies. Okay, so here we got an array. File currently says block, replacing with none. File overwrite successful. So this thing, if it's listening, no, it's still not going to be able to do it. But we can come back over here, we can reload this, and it's null. So obviously something else going on. So let's do global state map here as well, which I'm sure is necessary. Yeah, because we're encoding that map here. Okay, so pushing that. Pushing this back up as well. Make sure that's good. Make sure this is good. This is block replacing with none. File overwrite. Okay, reload this file now. Okay, I mean, not formatted the same, but who cares? Alright, so that's good. Good. So that means over here, we have a slightly new job to do. We've got to change this to do something kind of similar. So, we're gonna have, or I guess I should say kind of the opposite, but not really, because it's still doing half the same stuff. Okay, so let's call it state map, and that's an object. And here, we just need to unJSONify, right? JSON.parse, I think, is the thing that I want here. So, state map equals JSON.parse request.response. And then this will be state map.display. Hopefully that works. I should do some logging here for sure. Log state map. I do have a long-term goal. I want to make a gamification bot, which means, honestly, someone described it as like a Tamagotchi. And that's really the most concise way to explain it. Like, just a little community Tamagotchi that we play with on screen. Object. That's beautiful. Okay, so let's try playing with it. Toggle box. Because this logging is obviously not helpful, but maybe it'll work. Okay, that's basically it. In a nutshell, that's what I really want to do. But I want to basically replace things like Nightbot and all those other little bots that people use. I just want to have my own version of it, and do a lot of stuff on screen as opposed to like spamming chat. That's kind of the first phase, and then the second phase is the Tamagotchi idea. Okay. Not helpful. Let's do this. I guess I can just do request.response and log that instead. So refresh you. Alright, that's something. So it says block. So if I toggle it, which let me make sure the bot is still running. Okay, bot is still running. I mean, that seems fine. Let's toggle it. Replacing with none. So now we should start to see none. We're not seeing none. Oh, I know why. I'm kind of an idiot. Okay, so back over here. Overwrite state. I didn't update overwrite state to do anything. I suppose what I should be saying is state map.display or @display equals none. Yeah, I think overwrite state, I'm gonna just sort of repurpose this function. I'm gonna call you update state. Or let's call it write to state. Place all. Okay, and then I don't really need it to actually get any parameters anymore, because that stuff's all gonna need to be done a little differently anyway. Display equals block. Push that. Okay, so let's refresh you. Let's see what we're looking at. Block, alright, and then toggle box. Perfect, we got none. You should also go away, but I'm gonna have to refresh it. Okay, so that made it go away. Now we should be able to bring it back. We could. Alright, cool. Progress. So we're making progress. Alright, now I want to just write out a new function. Thinking about security issues, I know that having people say stuff is obviously problematic, but you know, whatever. I think it stringifies everything though. I think no matter what I put here, it's gonna put quotes around it. And I think that makes me safe as long as I don't try to evaluate that, which I would never do. I don't know. Javy, if you spot anything, please let me know. Okay. But the idea is we're going to grab the function now, and we're going to grab some arguments. And the arguments are going to be, well, the arguments, yeah, arguments are going to be the words that it should say. So we're going to write this function now to pull the state map, and then echo attempting to show a message. Actually, yeah, this one probably isn't gonna work so hot. Okay, I'm gonna have to update this a little bit. Let's call it arg count. And arg count equals, no equals. I don't know why I put equals there. And then for I equals 0, I is less than arg count. I guess I will do args equals an array. I'm code switching here unintentionally. Args is going to be an array, and then we're going to grab each value from that array. So I will pull from get args at value I equals get arg dot the value of I. So this will be get arguments in an array. This one right here was determine which function command. Yeah, I should make sure it gets escaped properly and all that kind of stuff. So this is no longer valid. Yep, you're absolutely right. Okay. Okay, so hopefully this will parse out the args. I'm gonna have to do some parsing on the bot side as well, but that's fine. Just gonna show a message. Trying to think of how to properly do this. I guess that I need to pull in arg count as well, and args as well. So for I equals 0, I is less than arg count plus I we're gonna do create some text equals empty string text dot equals, I think this works, args at index I, and then maybe a space. And then what we'll do is state map at text equals text. And then we'll write to state. I think that covers everything. We'll do some quick testing. Back over here, I can now say function equals BarkBot says, and arg count equals 1, and arg0 equals hello. Ha, okay. Update content on line 11. Oh, I forgot a step here. Plus I. Yes? Okay. Critical. Important part of the puzzle. Important part of the puzzle. Okay. I did it there though. Okay. Run it again. State string is blah 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 as a map array blah blah blah. Request received. Function BarkBot says attempting to show a message. File overwrite successful. Over here we see hello. Cool. Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't care if there's a trailing space. All right, then pulling back over here. Now I just need to. Trying to think of the right way to do this. Do I want to actually do everything in a function? Probably. Probably. Okay, so we're gonna do with. I'm gonna call this update display now. And I think I'm just sort of hard code the different things. So parsing state variable functions. Okay, so element equals that box. I don't really care about you. And then we're gonna have another function update text. New text. Or I'll just call it text. I already have actually a variable for the box element, so just realized I can just get rid of that. We can do box element here. Here I can also say box element. I think it's the box. Let me double check. Now I actually have it set up. Oh, it's right here. Yeah. Box element dot inner HTML equals text. And then I suppose this is where I might want to escape the text. Yeah, no, you're right. I think maybe the easier way to test this would just be throw a quote in there, see what happens. Let's put hello with a quote. Okay, it escapes itself. Yeah. So actually it feels like I don't really need to worry too much at all. Okay. Let's push that up. Let's run a test here with maybe slightly less verbose logging happening. I didn't actually run the function, so that would help. Update text. State map.text goes there. Push that again. Hello. All right, cool. So, what does that tell us? That tells us we can come in here and parse that out and get a new message printed if I refresh this. Here's hello. Let's try running it with multiple arguments. arg1 equals what's and arg2 equals good, and arg count is 3. Hello, what's good? All right, cool. Progress. We're getting there. Nice. I'm liking it. So here. Yeah, this is a pretty smooth system now, I think. We just need to create more functions here. So function. BarkBot says. I could probably even just sort of generify. It's not a word. Genericize. Send. HTTP. We will go with method URL data. Here's the thing that I need to figure out, because I don't even remember. When I pass a command, for commands in map, if command name equals that command name, then command map at that location receives a command object. Command object has client channel name arguments. Let's do this. So I kind of need this to be... No, I need these to pull in commands. Or at least that's what they should try to do. Okay, so you can receive a command. Excuse me. You need to know what a command is, so I think I need to include some stuff. I need file system, do I? I don't think I need that. But I do need TwitchBot. Acquire secure.module. No, that's not gonna be that. That's gonna be this. / Twitch. I'm gonna call it Twitch_bot.js. Because we need to know what this command thing is to be able to parse it. So... I don't really care about client, I don't really care about channel. I care about name and arguments. I don't even care about name, actually, I just care about arguments. Okay, so really the only thing that command gives us is arguments, which is, I mean, obviously important. Alright, so method, URL, data... Maybe I'll call it function name, and then arguments goes here. So a lot of the stuff that we were doing here can go here, and maybe I can even cut out some of the console log stuff. So method is going to be method, oops, and then URL is going to be this guy. Okay, so I guess that some of this will be good to not lose. We're going to go get, we're going to go with this. I think that the more I look at this, this is probably not necessary. I'm hoping that the data gets converted to arguments. That's my assumption anyway. Okay, so then URL becomes URL. Data is the function name here, and then we'll have to do some parsing of the arguments. So arg count equals args.length. Var args equals args, which is redundant. Okay, arg count I guess. This part is gonna be slightly messy. Okay, so var arguments arguments object, I guess, equals that. Okay, so this is just going to be data : data. And then we'll do a for loop here for var I equals 0, I is less than arg count plus I. Data at args plus I equals args at index I. So get basic argument data, argument data here. Loop through arguments and add them. And then this grabs data, and then we pull all this information. I will add a console log back in. Running command function plus function name Okay, so then here we have toggle box, and arguments would be command.args, which doesn't matter currently, but it will maybe one day. I don't know, who knows. And then get. Let me just abstract that one tiny bit more. Send BarkBot command, which really just needs to know function name and args, because it's just going to transfer that to an HTTP call with those pieces of information identical every time, and then function name and then args goes there. So this will be send BarkBot command, and this will be send BarkBot command, and this one will be BarkBot says, and then command.args. Feels pretty straightforward, right? Just to me anyway. Okay, so then the command that we want is BarkBot says, and then BarkBot says. That's it. That's all we need. Then TwitchBot takes care of the rest. So, throw this in, run the bot again. Obviously there's going to be errors, there always are. Function. I might have done this weird. It might just need to be that. Sorry, dumb. Dumb. Okay, try that again. Running. Alright, so let's see if Togglebox still works. Something killed the bot. Something is killing the bot. What is killing the bot? Running command function toggle box. Okay, looks like we need to debug. We need to debug. Can't remember how to do that. Node.js debug. Okay, we just need to add the inspect argument when we run it. So, node inspect waterbot.js. Break on start. Normal stuff. Normal stuff. Okay, break on start. I can't remember how to actually run it, sadly. Continue. C. Press any key to shut down, which is normal. Okay, toggle box. Waiting for the debugger to disconnect. It's so strange. Pause running code. Clear breakpoint. Continue execution. Okay. Can only perform operation while paused. Interesting. So we'll pause it. And continue. I can't pause or continue. What am I actually doing here? This button is all virtuals. Clear breakpoint. Don't really get what's happening. But yeah. Debugger listening. Blah blah blah. Debugger attached. Alright, I guess I just need to kill it. Okay. Run it again. And what I want to do Set a breakpoint. How do you set a breakpoint? Breakpoint, set breakpoint SB online. Okay, so we can do SB HTML interact.js. Actually might be modules.that /that, I mean. Debugging some stuff here. Okay, and then what line do I want? I want line 9. Let's put it on line 9. It's not loaded yet. Okay. So, how do we step? S. Next. N. Okay. Okay. Try it now. Breakpoint at specified location already exists. Okay, cool. Continue. Onward. Alright, so toggle box. Sorry, chat. I'm spamming the heck out of it just to test things out. Running command function toggle box seems to be broken, and I am not sure what I've done that has broken it. Maybe I need to try setting it on line 45. So, let's try setting a breakpoint again. So set breakpoint /module/ HTML interact.js at line 50, no, 45. Says it wasn't loaded, doesn't seem to matter. If I take a step, do it again just to be sure. Breakpoint at specified line already exists, so hit continue. Wait for the command, toggle box. Ignores my breakpoint entirely. It's just nuts. What is happening? I don't understand what is going on. Alright, so we're gonna have to start logging some junk. Command. Put here, put here. Do I need a try catch? I guess I should do a try catch. It's probably the best way to handle this, right? Right, okay. So, let's catch any error that might happen. Console.log E. I don't know what E even is, but it's something. Okay, so let's kill it. Let's run it again. We'll just continue. And I shall spam the chat once more. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Cannot read property length of undefined. So, let's pull whatever information we have here. That's client info. I don't want to really get super messy with that. But, we got the server, we got the channel, we got the name, toggle box, we got empty arguments. Oh. Hey. Okay, yeah, dumb. Dumb on my part. Alright, so arguments might be null. If args is not null, then we do all this stuff. Or, better, args is null, question mark, hang on, question mark, if it is null, then it's 0, if not, then it's args.length. That's probably important. Okay, yeah, so the try catch did save us. Try catch is great because it catches any exceptions. What's weird to me is that normally Node is pretty good at outputting those errors anyway, so I don't know why it didn't this time. Anywho, let's kill it. Let's run it again. Searching for existing file. Waiting for the debugger to disconnect. I think it means it's dead again. Sometimes it just does that. So. No? Waiting for the debugger again. Searching for existing file for a barking otter. I think this is trying to do something in searching for existing file. I think that's something to do with chatter list. Or no, maybe it's not. Searching for existing file. No, I think it is the chatter list. Find all in open documents. Yeah. Okay, so it's trying to do something here. And somehow kind of crashing. I don't know why that's problematic. Channel name is log path, file system. I didn't change anything with this system, so let's just do this without the debugger attached. Node.js. Unexpected token at position. Aha, okay, so there's something that happens with the chatter log that breaks from time to time, and I have to manually fix it, which is okay for now. I'll worry about it some other day. Today's not that day. So, sorry, buddy. Alright, let's do one of these. Manually fixing file. Okay. Okay, so now you're acting normal, which is good. Toggle box. Hello, what's good? Alright. Request received. Received response from the URL. Interesting. That's weird. It actually should have receive function request. Okay, so it's actually breaking somehow. Aha. Okay, so there was something that I wasn't sure about. And the thing, let me do something here real quick, actually, in case that error comes up again. Pull you out, put you up here. Cool. Okay, so there's something that I'm doing here. We have this data object. I don't really know how it's used. I sort of assumed it was arguments, but it does not seem to be arguments. So I think we need to actually manually parse that stuff out. But let me check their documentation. So we're not using this. We're using this. What is data? What actually is it? Let's see, creating an instance. Request config URL method base URL data. Allows you to change the request data before it is sent. This is only applicable for request methods. Blah blah blah. So it doesn't apply to get. Okay. Okay. So it doesn't seem like this arguments thing actually does anything for me because I'm using get here. So I don't really know how to use it properly, so maybe I just shouldn't use it. What I really need to do then, unfortunately, is do the string parsing manually. So, I don't know if this thing is at all useful, so I'm going to comment it out. Oops. The following is not supported by get. Don't quite know what it does. So for now, it's removed. Okay, so that's all taken out of there. Maybe I'll do it this way. Really, instead of pouring into some data thing, we're going to instead augment the URL. So we'll do this. If arg count is greater than 0, no, we're not going to do if it's greater than 0. We're just going to always have arg count. Okay, so URL plus equals and arg count. No, first one is question mark. Arg count equals plus arg count. And then for everything after that, we're going to say URL plus equals and args plus I plus equals plus args at index I. So this is just how we're going to manually change the URL and add the arguments to the end of it. Suppose at some point I'm going to definitely want to change this from get to put, but I will cross that bridge when I come to it. So this thing, like we said, doesn't really do what I think it does, so I don't really know how to use it, so let's not do it. Let's throw this back in. Let's do toggle box. Sorry, I'm spamming chat again. Request received, function requested, blah. We're getting some kind of error on the other side. So we're getting this. Interestingly enough, did I do that right? Maybe I spelled something wrong. Nope, toggle box is toggle box. So, place block, request received, function request. So let's see from the URL. State string is blah. Decode state string. Should be writing to the screen. Oh no, it does. Okay, as a map, blah, array, blah. Okay, so it is doing all of that. Function requested, function, switch on function should be toggling the box. Or it's not. Something's a little off there with the function name. Oh, I know why. Okay, duh. I'm kind of an idiot. Once more, chat, I am not the smartest person in the room at all. Okay, we need to include the function name because I'm a dope. Function equals function name, and then this is no longer the question mark. This is and, because you only get the question mark at the first one. After that, it's and. All right, kill it again. Run it again. Toggle the box again. That box is gonna get tired of getting toggled. All right. So the box went away. Successful attempt with the new slightly modified version of the bot. Hello, what's good? Now, BarkBot says, what's really good? Nothing. Nothing's really good. So we got some kind of problem. Okay, so attempting to show a message, file overwrite successful. What does the file say? What did the file get told to write? Nothing. Alright, so something obviously not quite kosher here. Okay, so what I should do is run debug mode and set a breakpoint here. I think the args thing is not working. Probably because I called it arguments. That would help. Probably because of that. Yeah, that would do it. Alright, let's try killing that. Run it again. Text is blanky blank. File overwrite successful. Still getting some problems here. Alright, so we're gonna have to kill this. Whoops, not that. This. And then inspect it. So node inspect otterbot.js. We're gonna set a breakpoint. Modules slash HTML interact.js. And where should I put it? Let's put it at line 66. And continue. Build already. File was updated. Ugh, we got some kind of error again in the log file, I think. No? That seems okay, actually. I don't know why it's freaking out that time. It's sort of frustrating that I can't save a breakpoint between runtimes. HTML interact.js. Line 66. Yeah. It's okay. Doesn't have to be loaded apparently. Okay. Okay, so we're inspecting some junk. We've got a command. Forgot that I'm having it log commands. Okay, and then arguments. How's everybody doing today? Okay, so that looks great. So then if we step in, can only perform operation while paused. I was just at a breakpoint. What are you talking about? I don't like this debugger. Debugger kind of sucks. Alright, so we're gonna take a step. We're gonna let it load. We're gonna try again with the breakpoint. So it's // modules / Oh, that's why. I've actually been trying to set breakpoints in completely the wrong place. That would explain a lot of what's happening here. Alright, it says it wasn't loaded yet. I don't think it matters. It doesn't seem to matter. Waiting for it to... Of course. We're getting a stupid weird error in our log file again. So cool, I guess. So we have to suffer through this one more time. SB, let's just Alt M, or can we, yeah, okay. I say that would be cool if we could just copy and pasta. C, Control V. Why are you making this hard on me? There we go. Line 66. You say you're not loaded, but then frustrating, man. I don't know why it keeps dying. Let me just run it normally, I guess. Okay, run it again. Okay. Run it with the inspection. Next. SB. That. 66. Continue. Alright. So now, we run that. Debugger should be paying attention. State string is blah blah blah. Arguments are how's everybody doing today. That's all good. Next. Whoops. Next. Perform while paused. Yeah, great. When does it load the file? Like, how long do I have to wait for it to load the file? Okay. I gotta find some way to make this debugger work the way I need it to work. So I suppose what I could do is wait until line 20 here. 22 even. Okay. We're gonna keep working at it. Alright, so let's kill the debugger. Let's run the inspector again. Let's set a breakpoint on line 22. Great. Over there. Now let's set another breakpoint at this spot, line 66. Why do you keep saying it's not loaded? Do I have to like manually load files? It's possible to set a breakpoint in a file that is not loaded yet. It's not loaded yet, fine. Okay, you can do conditional breakpoints, that's great. I still don't understand. I don't get it. But that's okay. Why is it doing it again? That's strange. Alright, we can still try a couple things that I hadn't thought of. Let's try backtrace. Null, great. Chat, help me. Help me, chat. What's happening? I can't get any meaningful output from this debugger, and it's driving me nuts. I guess I'll just have to do the brute force way of debugging, which is... this. console.log http. node.js. Unexpected token. Alright, so I got this stupid log file bug. We can fix that. We can fix that. Alright, manually corrected. Then we need to write exactly, right? How's everybody doing today? Alright, so where are we? We're getting the response. Running command function BarkBot says, method is get, question mark function equals BarkBot says, and arg count equals 4, and arg 0. Oh, maybe that's what I'm missing. I called it args. I think it should just be arg. Ugh. I feel like I could have figured that out 10 minutes ago if it had debugged correctly. Alright, try this again. Alright, yay! Stuff is happening. Alright, you guys can try it out. You can try it out if you want to put a message up there. I invite you to try to break it. Maybe not too maliciously. Okay. Break it in some small way, and then then we'll fix it. Yeah. Yay! Good job. Way to go. How's everybody doing today? Okay, so it said that, and then it would have overwritten it. So now I've got this ton of verbose log stuff happening, which is fine. I think probably I'm gonna add some options to this thing. Options equals verbose logging colon true. Oh, make it false. And then we'll have some log function. And then I'll say if options.verbose logging, then console.log message, and I'll just replace all these log calls like that. You as well. And you're probably important enough that you should just stay there always. Okay. Hooray! Thank you for that test run. Okay, where do I go from here? What do I do with this? Alright, I'm totally excited that I got this to work. Just trying to figure out what, like, the next logical step would be. Input name choice, message press indication down. I don't think that matters. Okay. I think I want to start fixing some issues that I had earlier. Let's see. Let me check on something here. Config file. So, my greetings broke at some point, which made me sad. So the idea here was that I could write out some specific usernames and then have them get greeted automatically by the bot. But I think the moment I added in a URL, it kind of freaked out. So I'm not sure. Maybe it was unescaped or something like that. So the thing that would cause that to happen is this guy. So let's take a moment to kind of play with this. Parse config. If file exists, grab the string, map the string, add greetings from the string. So it's supposed to do all that. So the problem comes when it does that, it seems to not enjoy that at all. So let's do another little pass on this. You know what I could do? I could probably just step through on the debugger on this one. I really do want to learn how to actually use the debugger correctly. So let's kill it and run it again. This time we'll inspect it. And we'll just sort of step through. Oh, I see the problem here. Waiting for debugger to disconnect. You're already waiting? They're like, it got 5 lines in and it's already freaking out. Why? Why? Something about this HTML interact file is screwing it up. Oh well. Can I just keep going? No, I can't. Forget the debugger. Drives me nuts. Doesn't work. Alright, console.log config map. Unexpected token semicolon. Oh, okay. See, why didn't the debugger tell me that? I feel like the debugger should be more likely to give me errors, not less likely. It seems crazy. Crazy to me. Okay, let's go in modules. Let's reopen that. HTML interact. No semicolon. Got it. Semicolon goes here. Understood. Unexpected token. Here we go. So, token is apex of light. It's apex o flight. Go check out. Yep. The second we get in there, https colon something. Slashes. Yeah. Unexpected slash tokens. So I gotta figure out how to do escaped forward slash. JavaScript escaped. Escape slash, I guess. I want to make sure I understand the problem before I do anything. So, but facing an issue in my string contains a forward slash. Maybe a better way to really learn what's going on here is JSON specification, I guess? JSON. Alright, so collection name value pairs, object, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Take on these forms, unordered set, an object begins with left brace, ends with right brace, colon, comma. Array is an ordered collection of values. Value can be a string in double quotes or a number. Structure can be nested. A string can be a sequence of 0 or more Unicode characters wrapped in double quotes using / escapes. Characters represented as a single character string. I just want kind of a list of escaped characters, or characters that need to be escaped. So characters that need to be escaped. Such a goofy sentence, but that's what it is. Can someone please give a complete list of special characters that should be escaped? PHP is involving a preg quote. That should do what you need. Special regex characters are... / caret the $, question mark. See, they don't mention the /, which is weird. And I didn't think it would be a problem, but it does not like that. Unexpected token in JSON at position 79. Is it the colon? Oh, you're probably right. Yeah, you're right. Good call. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, so that just means I need to, yeah, you're right. That should have been obvious. Thank you. I don't know how many more minutes... Yeah, exactly. I don't know how many more minutes I would have stared at that. Not noticed it. Okay, so, like, maybe that's it. No, I put that in the wrong spot. Here. Okay, so I just need to add comments here. Right? Nice. It's required to place a / in front of any of the following characters. Where's a good list? Here we go. Yeah, right? Me neither. My whole thinking here is at some point I'm going to share this with people. So I just want to have some kind of nice, well-formatted way of writing a config. And I've just sort of fallen into JSON as like my one-stop solution to everything. I guess a question mark needs to get escaped. Probably at this point, considering how troublesome this might get for people, I might need to write a little tool for it. YAML. I've heard of YAML. I should take a peek at it. YAML. YAML ain't markup language. I like when they have a sense of humor. Human-friendly data serialization standard. Okay. Might be cool to see examples. YAML example. Line annotation, white space, comments, data types, numeric types. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It is neater. Less errors I can see. I wonder if it mentions anything about escape. Escape sequence is handled. This. Before escape sequence handles, we need to use double quotes. Okay, so just putting quotes around something seems like it might be enough. Will not escape strings with single quotes. Interesting. Cool. I will check it out. I think that I want to not get too crazy. It is sort of a long, ridiculous number of characters here that I have to worry about. Like, I'm gonna run this again, I think. And get at least as many errors, right? Yep. Still has a problem at the colon. Doesn't like the colon. Still doesn't like the colon somehow. Yeah, alright. You may have just convinced me. So let's find out. JavaScript YAML. JS YAML. Okay, cool. Module for it. MP. Optional arguments. File with YAML documents. Try YAML.load file string. Sounds like it's a string. Requires. Oh, of course, absolutely. But like this is, I think. Hang on. JSON escape. Like, okay, so let me just do this. I'm gonna grab this whole thing. Throw it in there. Escape. See, they're escaping the slashes, but not the colon. Maybe that's it. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm just being lazy. Alright, yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. Did it just get funky in here? Unexpected token question mark. Do you escape after? Is that what I'm getting confused with here? If I put this in and then I run it, is it still gonna complain? No, it actually doesn't seem to be complaining about nearly all of the things that I was looking at. So, it's this that we know of. So let's backslash each of these guys. Rare koala. Mr. Koala Man over here. Slashes. I think it's just the backslashes, or the forward slashes, that it's confused by. Even though it said the colon, it doesn't seem to care about the colon. Alright, I mean, let's just try that. Okay. That seems alright. Alright, so maybe I won't make the jump just yet. But, maybe. Someday. Alright. So, let's kill it. And redo it here. Let's do, Drevi. I don't know what I would say to Drevi. I'm bad at these sometimes. It's Drevi. I'll probably change that later once I think of something better. But there you go, if you feel like testing that out. I think that's something else that I want to do here is to like be able to test and run commands in the back end while I'm doing it. So the problem is that I'm now working on a branch of development with this version that I'm going to have to catch up to later with the other version. But you know, whatever. How do I want to write that though? I don't want to start making a mess of stuff, because this right here is the prompt that you see when I run it. It says press any key to shut down, because literally anything I do is going to cause it to call this function. But I think I need to move that into TwitchBot and start doing it here instead. I think it's fine. Okay, so connect and run goes here. Unconnected goes here. Let's throw another function in here. Call it run console. Runs the console interactivity loop. Okay, so the thing that I was doing was when I connect and run, I give it a function. I think I don't care about that function anymore. So we're not going to have a callback. Screw that. Instead, we will onConnect. What was it? Past it. Down below. OnConnected. Here we go. Connected to blah blah blah. Instead of just trying to find some connect callback, we're going to do run console. And run console, for now, shall look like this. So I don't need this function anymore, and I don't need to put this in here. So let's make sure that that still works. Probably doesn't know what inquire is. Of course it doesn't. Okay, so we're gonna grab inquirer. Doesn't need to be here. Now it's gonna go up here. Okay, so I can still kind of quit. Oh no. Unhandled promise rejection warning. TwitchBot is not defined. Oh dear. Yes, that's true, isn't it? Alright, so one problem with that function is we don't need this. We just got that. So we'll kill it, run it again, parse it. That was updated. Okay, so let's remove a bunch of logging stuff. Connect and run, adding greetings, parsing config. I don't need the console log in there. Okay, run it again. Run that back one more time. Okay, log file is updated. Sweet. So I think everything is working again, so that's good. But let's do better. So indicate shutdown, name is choice. I don't remember how this really works, so let's remind ourselves. What is inquirer? JS inquirer. Relation, examples, methods, objects, questions, answers. Questions. Tell me about your questions. Okay, so we're going to prompt with an object. Okay. The prompt object itself creates a self-contained inquire module. If you don't want to affect other libraries, then you overwrite. Okay, right. Prompt questions. Questions array. Oh, okay. Prompt takes questions and answers. So, poke it back over here. Right. Questions, then answers. So, questions should be an array of objects. Each object in that array can have a type. Input, number, confirm, list, box, password, editor. Alright, can have a name. Console. Command, I guess. We'll call it command. Message, the question to print. If defined as a function, the first parameter will be defaults to the value of name. Okay, so begin entering commands. Enter help for a list of commands. Sorry, just checking if that was an important message. Okay, so we've got the message, and then we get the answers. What format will the answers come in? The name of the question object, okay. Depends on the prompt. If it's an input with a string. Yep. Alright, so let's look at that input, shall we? Switch on answers dot value. Key value hash containing the client answers in each prompt. Okay, got it. So that's, I didn't, not quite. Answers at command dot value. Oh, no. Yeah, okay. So case, help. Can't help but want to move this somewhere else because it's just gonna get so messy. So let's just do it. Let's pull the trigger on that. So back in modules, creating a new file. Twitch bot console.js. Yes, I want to change the file extension. Okay. Runs a console interactivity loop. We're going to do exports or no module dot exports equals run console. And then this is where we're actually going to. My brain is slowing down. Where did the thing go? TwitchBot, there you are. Instead, we're going to include, not inquire, that's going to get moved over. Okay, console equals require period slash Twitch bot console.js. I don't like the name of that because console's already a thing, so I need to call it something else. I guess I'll call it Bark console. And then I could just call it run instead of run console. Okay, so this is just going to be run. And run. Okay, so we got questions. We got some stuff that's going to happen. We got some commands that we can run. So function help. What this will do is list commands. We will console.log we will log list commands. We will log exit, quits, shuts down the bot. Trying to think of the right way to do this. Okay, so let's do it this way. Let's say const help map equals, and then do it up here instead. So help lists commands. I don't think I need the quotes on both sides of this. Exit shuts down the bot. Maybe that's it for now, but I will be able to add to that later. Okay, so then help is going to go through for var command in help map console.log command plus colon plus help map at command. Expose public functions here. Okay. Let's see how that does. Acquire secure module path dot. Okay, you don't know what secure is, of course. Bot home. Grab this. Has to always be there. Yep, that should hopefully help that. Help. Okay. Unhandled promise rejection warning. Reference error. Disconnect is not defined. Blah, blah, blah. Console at line 34. Right, of course. Duh. Okay, so we're not going to always disconnect. And furthermore, I didn't really finish writing this at all. So it's case help and then case exit. So, function exit which I guess means this needs to talk back to the bot console. Okay, so this needs to know bot client, I guess. And we need to have access to TwitchBot equals require slash twitchbot.js. Do 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 do. Exit break. Okay, so we're gonna have a var here for client equals null, and we'll just say client equals bot client. And here we will say client.disconnect is a thing. There it goes. Nice. Gotcha. I probably have to turn that off because it gets pretty obnoxious when it's... that's another thing that I need to add to it. Because right now it doesn't really remember if it's already greeted you, if I have to shut it off and turn it on again. So that could be obnoxious. I'm trying to decide what the right way to handle that is. I guess it's this for now. To do, need to remember greetings in a log file, I think. So if I run it again, you won't have to deal with that, but thanks for helping me test. All right, I think this will work. This will be something. Kill it. Oh, right. There's no way to kill it, so we'll have to manually just shut it down. Alright, so we got an error. We got another freaking error in the freaking log file. I don't know why this happens. I get like 3 to 4 extra curly braces at the end. Alright, so we got help. Sweet. We got exit, which I can't type because it's not a loop. It's not actually running a loop. So, let's do while true. And then this will not just break, but return as well. Okay, let's try that. Okay, unexpected end of input. Doesn't like run being there. Why? I'm missing a curly brace somewhere, I think. This is all like this. Yes, absolutely. This return is actually not going to help us. So let's do it this way instead. I already have this quit thing, so let's put quit while not quit. So instead I will say quit equals true. White space is our friend for shizzle. Alright, running that. Sweet. That seems wrong. Okay, let's kill that. Exit. I can't get out of it. Not good. All right, let's fix that. Okay, so I'll say if quit, then break out of the loop, or even return. I'll just leave that a break, I guess. And then bool date answer equals false. This will be, actually I guess I have to put it up here. While not did answer. No, let's call it waiting or something. It's false. While not waiting, do that. And then waiting becomes true. But inside of here it becomes false again. Maybe I'll just rename it even clearer. Wait for input. Or waiting for input. Alright, new window. node.js. It did not actually do the thing, did it? Waiting for inputs. Running again. Cool, waiting for input. Oh, because oh man, I'm writing this C style. That should be var. Here we go. Okay, so I can do help. And then I can do exit. Nope, nope, it's already done. That's weird. Okay. What is it doing? Enter commands. It should be. Should have reached help. Should have break here. I need to await the deferred. Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Okay, so you're saying I gotta wait for this thing, right? So I gotta put await here. Sorry, I'm probably gonna ask some dumb questions because I don't fully understand how that all works yet. JavaScript. Await. Loop. Async and await in loops. Let's see what they have to say. Let's resolve. Okay, you're not actually showing me any loops yet, so here we go. Or await this. JavaScript calls them. Yeah, I think it's a promise, maybe. So you're saying that I need to store some promise here. Equals null, and then I think it's promise equals that, and then I can just say while not promise. Promise equals that, and then promise equals null here. Maybe that's what we're looking for. Where'd the window go? Nah, it still seems to kind of get frozen here, so I'm missing something. Promise equals inquire. Prompt, then answers. Promise equals inquire.prompt. Okay. Gotcha. So then we'll do promise.then. Let's try that. Help! Nah, still doesn't like that, so I'm missing something here. Oh, right. Right, okay, I'm gonna try pulling it back to this, and then I think I want a wait here then, right? Oh, I see. So I do promise equals that, and then I do await promise. Maybe. No, doesn't like that. Closer. I know. I know that I need to set up the prompt and then the answers so that it knows what to do. I can't just jump straight into it. Promise. It's like promise. Do I have to call a function on the promise or something? Or maybe I should just write it as an async function here. Async function. Parse commands, parse console, parse input, let's just say. And then we'll get answers. And so instead of this here, we'll put it here. That's messy. And then we'll put parse input here. And then is it like, is this where the await goes? I'm sorry. I know. Okay, await is only valid in an async function. Run shouldn't itself be async. Right, we're not awaiting here. No, see, it's not gonna work because then the promise, no. I guess run should be async. Maybe that is the problem. Maybe it does need to be async. And then I want this to be await. Because it kind of does. It does. Because I need to run other stuff while the thing is happening. Invalid left-hand side in assignment, await promise. Right, because promise is for function calls. Isn't it? Okay, promise equals that. We have the await down there already, so maybe that's just where it belongs. Okay, we get something. Help! Alright, exit. Cannot read property disconnect of undefined client equals bot client. Right, because TwitchBot is not passing in the information. Which would be happening here. No, let's put client. Excuse me. I think it's called client. Yeah. Okay, I think I got there in the end. Help? Ooh, that's not quite right. It's not what I wanted at all. Help! Help! Exit. No, now it's not listening or doing anything with the input. So something else is not good here. So this works. It has the timing down, but it doesn't actually do it the way I want. Answers to the command is help. So it awaits the promise. So, my brain is not wrapping itself around this quite yet. It's awaiting the promise. That means that it's waiting for the function to complete, but not actually calling the function. Okay, I do need to understand this better. So, let's look at promises. Async function. Let's learn about this stuff. Shall we? Async function is declared with async, and the await keyword is permitted. Enable asynchronous promise-based behavior to be written. May also be defined as expressions. Yep, understood. Function's name, return value, in 0 or more await expressions. Await expressions make promise-returning functions behave as though they're synchronous by suspending execution until the return promise is fulfilled or rejected. Resolved value, the promise is treated as the return value of the wait expression. Use of async and wait enables the use of ordinary try-catch blocks. Got it. Promise.resolve. For example, the following is equivalent to async functions always return a promise. If the return value of an async function is not explicitly a promise, it will be implicitly wrapped in a promise. Foo. Got it. Returns a promise resolve. Okay. The body of an async function can be thought as being split by 0 or more await expressions, up to include the first await. Synchronously in this way, an async without an await expression will run synchronously. There's an await expression inside the function body. It will always complete asynchronously. Example, foo. Okay. Let me look at the problem again. Okay, so I think I'm just waiting for the promise to complete without actually executing it. Now I'm confused again. Okay, so let's await promise. This is promises. Promises. Okay. I think maybe the best way to solve this would be JavaScript inquire loop. Okay, so they've written this in a very simple way, like excessively simple. So, acquires the game source, here's the node. If there are not node connections, then we return the resolved promise of the node. Otherwise, we return an inquirer prompt. Okay, so this is like if you got to a dead end or something in this story, then it's just going to read you out some text and the game is done. Otherwise, it's going to return some prompt here. Maybe I understand what I'm supposed to be doing. So maybe what the deal is instead of writing a loop, I do recursive. Yeah. I'm aware of that. So yeah, okay. Maybe that's worth trying then. Promise dot then that, and then we can await the promise. Good call. Okay, well, I don't know why it does this sometimes. Let's try it again. Okay, so help. Exit. I sort of realize now that I'm a dummy. It was actually probably fine. I'm pretty sure it was fine. I don't know when it was fine. I think it was fine once I did something. Because I think it wasn't working, or I thought it wasn't working, but then I realized now that it actually was. So okay, so we did something along these lines. Let's just bring it all back. Let me just bring it back to this. Okay, I'm stupid. I hate this error. Hate it. Stupid. I don't know why it does this. Okay, fix it. Help. Like, my dumb brain was looking at this and saying, oh, that didn't actually do the thing it was supposed to do. But it obviously did. Alright, so exit now is client.disconnect is not a function. That's true. We don't need the client. We need TwitchBot. God, I'm an idiot. Alright, so TwitchBot is here. We don't need this thing. We don't need this. Yeah, sorry. I spent a lot of time just then just being dumb. Alright, TwitchBot disconnect goes there. TwitchBot. Run console, or just run, I think. Doesn't need the client. Nobody cares about the client. Nobody cares about the client. Am I right or am I right? Okay. Running this again. Help. Exit. Disconnect of module exports inside circular dependency. Oh no. Yeah, I sort of was worried about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind doing it in things like Unity, where I understand it much better, but not here. Okay, so I can't do a dependency circular thingy, which is funny because I have done that in other places. Like, this guy requires the TwitchBot. And again, I suppose it doesn't actually use the TwitchBot, so maybe that's why. I think I can run it without that, and it'll work. Let's run a test on that, shall we? BarkBot says HTML is fun. No, not HTML. JavaScript. Oh wait, async is fun. Yay! Alright, cool. I thought it was okay with the circular inclusion, but I guess it's not. Does that mean that I can just use TwitchBot here? Ugh. Yeah, it's kind of lame, I guess, but I think I do need to send the client in. So we're gonna have to bring back a couple of things. That's so strange. I feel like I did the circular inclusion thing somewhere else as well. Trying to like visualize how it's actually working. Yeah, okay, I guess that's the thing. Okay, so instead of a client, let's do disconnect callback. Or maybe I'll call it exit callback. Underscore. The old underscore idiom. Equals exit callback. If exit callback is not null, then exit callback dot execute. Alright, so then over here we have this, which receives disconnect, I believe. Yeah, there's disconnect. Alright, so let's see if that works. Yep. Exit. Sweet. Alright, the system works. Cool. Alright, so then I think I want to add another console command for chat. Sends a custom chat message through the bot. Bot. Okay. So here we will have chat. Case chat. Chat. Okay, so we'll do another little fun thing here. Chat message. Enter message. And then this guy. Require.prompt questions, then answers. Okay, so we don't really care what it is, we're just gonna use it. Yeah, this is frustrating because I totally need this to be calling commands from TwitchBot. There's gotta be a way to do this. How could JavaScript have only one-way communication between two files when every other language has a way to handle that? That'd be goofy. Let me enter a text real quick here. Sorry. Actually, give me a minute. Thanks for hanging out, Jeffy. Super nice to get feedback and bounce ideas. Okay. Just check something else out. 1 second. Locations. Yeah, is that a thing? A known issue? Only one-way inclusion? I mean, it's kind of an issue in C++ too. I spend a lot of days in C++ these days. That's a heck of a sentence. And it's definitely an issue there, but the difference is you can sort of split modules of code into two files, and then you can always find a way to make it work. Because one of them can circularly include all it needs to. So you're always okay, you know? All the kids, cool kids using Python, sure. Makes sense. Yeah, the truth about this whole project is I just grabbed the first thing that I saw, which is maybe not the smartest thing. Like, I could have done some research and actually picked something instead of just picking the very first thing. Okay. Yeah. I mean, a ton of what I'm doing here is global anyway. I'm trying to think if that's a solution that really works. But I suppose what I'll have to do... I guess this is already sort of, what's the word for it? It's already coupled to TMI through the TwitchBot. So I suppose then I should just pass the client. Yeah, but I don't like to do that. I don't have to rewrite some of these functions, because some of them are already perfectly good. I suppose I could do a lot of this with anonymous functions. Chat message, say. So use the say function is the one that I want to use next. Sort of feels goofy. Oh well. Alright, I mean, let's see if I can sort of hack my way through this. I just had an idea. What if the console, instead of just getting an exit callback, is going to expect function set? I can already see this probably not working the way that I envisioned in my head, but that's okay. Let's call this function map instead of set. Let's call it map. It's gonna be one of these, and then we will say good old underscore. Underscore function map, grabs that. Sorry, I got lost in an idea. Okay, so if function map, it sort of doesn't matter. Function map is going to say disconnect. Actually, I should be able to do it like this, which will look better to me. Okay, and then this right here is going to take the answers. That's too bad. That sounds kind of obnoxious. Yeah, like you just export like a big ol' grip of functions. Okay. Making plans for later. Don't forget. Okay, done. All right, so answers dot chat message, which should work, is the thing that we're gonna say. So it's gonna be function map dot say this, and over here it's the channel and the message. That should be interesting. I don't actually know what channel it's in. Do I? I have to provide the channel. I have to answer the channel. So there's actually going to be two questions here. There's going to be a second question. Let's call this one channel. Say enter channel. And then enter message. Okay. So, answers.chat message. No, this will be answers.channel and then answers.chat message. Hopefully this will work. Okay, so over here, we're just gonna kind of recreate this thing, which is a little annoying. It's alright. I'll put it up top because that feels like a place to put it. Var function map equals, and then I think I can do this. We don't really care about that. Maybe I can just do a quick test with just say and disconnect. So say would be say, disconnect would be disconnect. See if that works. Did I do that right? No, probably not. Right, so this would be function map now. And then over here, making sure it grabs a function map, stores a function map. Let's rename this to bot functions. Okay, see if that works. Where's the error? I know there's going to be an error. Okay, we got chat. Now we got exit. Still works. Great. We've got chat. I think it needs a hashtag at the beginning, so the barking otter. God, that's obnoxious. Okay. Enter message. Hi. Hey! Alright, cool. I'm getting the hang of this, I think. I'm sort of getting there. Okay, so that's cool. I mean, I'm just liking seeing all the pieces fit together, you know? That's the magic for me with writing code, is when it all starts to fall into place. I can do that. I need to fix this issue where it kind of interrupts me to talk about log files. Maybe I don't care about that. Maybe I just turn that off. Log file updated. No, I think that's happening. Where is that happening? I don't actually know where that's happening. JSON utility, maybe? Is that JSON utility? Let's do a search everywhere. Log file. Find all. Why is it not searching? That's goofy. Something weird. Okay, what was the actual message again? It was log file was updated. Yeah. So why is it not finding that? That's very strange. Okay. Using the wrong search function, I guess. Here we go. Yeah, I was in the chatter list. Okay, we don't need that. Alright, we don't need that. It's cool, it's cool. Cool, making progress. What else did I want to do? I want to be able to toggle the bot. I want to be able to basically run any command. Which I sort of can do, I guess. Begin entering commands. Okay, so it's still waiting for a command. That's not good. That actually seems broken. Something wrong here. Function chat. What is it actually doing? It says begin entering commands. Begin entering commands. Okay, enter message went here. Oh, okay, so it's doing something that is not quite ideal. The inquirer is getting hung up on this, I think. It's okay. It isn't beautiful. It is taking the same input for both sets of questions is the problem. So if I say chat, barking otter, help, it's going to take that in both places. So that's really the issue here, I think. Okay, so then I think I need to say await chat, and we make chat async. And then I think we await the promise here. And then let's see if that succeeds in making it... I have to make this thing has to be async as well. So we will say... How do they do a function object? Hang on one sec. How do I do? JavaScript anonymous async function. Or function expression. Oh, okay. It's probably simpler than I was thinking it would be. So, then async function answers. Like that. that's what it needs? No. Await promise equals inquire.prompt. Right, we sort of talked about how that's not how it works. Okay. Promise equals this. Oh, maybe this is why. Maybe I just don't need that. Maybe that's it. Chat. The barking otter. Exit. Yeah, it kills it. Huh. Just not good, chat. It's not good. Okay. Okay. Let's try to look up how we should handle inquirer branching JavaScript. Inquirer. Branching questions. Branching questions with inquirer. When input, yada yada yada. Inquirer's when method is definitely the correct one for this situation. There are two possible reasons, blah blah blah. Okay, so when it's an input, we want to return the role of intern. Employee questions, list employee title. What's the employee's title? Engineer or intern? When input returns role is engineer. That's the school you're enrolled in. Okay, I have a way to do this that I think will not require me to learn anything new. So that sounds great to me. I just thought of an idea. Okay, so let's screw all the async stuff. Hey, Kiwi, how you doing? How's the Kiwi today? I'm doing things. Kiwi. Type in, here, I'll write it. I'll write it in a text file. Type in exclamation mark BarkBot says, and then type a message, but make it a nice one because it's going to show on the screen. BarkBot says, like this. No worries. I'll just show you. Hi, Kiwi. No worries. I'm just working on some issues that are not gonna work. Hang on. Check this out. You see this little window? This little window right down in this area, right next to me. It does a thing when I type a message. Hey, isn't that cool? I think it's cool. It's pretty goofy, but I think it's cool. That's what I got working today. How are you? How are you doing today? Yay! Yeah, you like? This is a weird track. I love this one. Cool. Good to see you. I just sort of rolled my way out of bed and was like, I'm just gonna work on chatbot today. That's what I'm gonna do. Nice. Awesome. Very, very cool. Okay, what was I trying to do? I have this little weird bug that I'm trying to figure out, which is... yeah, there's all this extra logging happening still. I don't need all of that. But anyways, let's do help. And then I can do this as well. Let's do a chat message. Let's say in the Barking Otter channel, say, coding is fun. Boom. Do that. What was the thing that I have to fix? Okay, so my problem right now is that when I do something like that command, it takes the answer in two places. It takes it down there, but also up here in the other question, and that's what I don't want to do. So here's what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be pretty corny. It's var answer equals blank, and then I'll say answer equals answers dot command, and then I'll grab all of this stuff and still do it, but I'll do it here. And then we'll just grab answer Maybe I'll just call it command, I guess. I don't know. I go back and forth on naming things. What are you gonna do? So now we're no longer in the midst of finishing up this promise up here, and I don't need that async thing, I think. In fact, I don't like any of this. Yeah, that seems good, I think. I don't know. We'll see. Half the time I'm like, I don't really know what this is gonna do, but let's try it, shall we? Alright, so let's do help. Yeah, okay, so that didn't work. Command equals... Oh, right, because I'm a dope again. Screwing everything up. Kill it, run it again. This whole mess. I really gotta figure out why this is happening, but... Not today. Not today, Satan. Alright, run it again. Help. Help is not printing. So we've got some kind of problem. So, is the problem that command isn't being assigned, or is it something else? Let me bring this back to what I had before. Kill it, run it back. Help. Exit doesn't do anything, nothing does anything. Alright, so let's do a quick little test here. Console log, what is command? What is command? Help! None of that's happening. Okay. I'm not seeing what I'm doing wrong here. So it's getting stuck. Oh, promise is null. Okay. I guess maybe I need to do this here? Come on now. Progress. Don't fail me now. Help. Okay, that seems good. Alright, we got that working. What was the other thing we had? Toggle box. No, we had exit. I was gonna say, toggle box wasn't one of them. Was it? Good old toggle box. Alright, and then chat the barking otter. Help. Yeah, I don't know. Something else about this is not working right. So I guess what's happening is it gets through all of this. Maybe it does have to be async. Yeah, maybe it does. So we're gonna make this await chat. We're gonna make async function chat. And we're gonna await this guy. Let's see what it does without anything else added to it. Let's run it. Help! Okay. Yeah, it's got an extra log. Let's get rid of that. We're gonna do chat. I can already tell it's doing it again. Exit. Sorry for chat spam, chat, but deal with it. Alright, chat, okay. Enter message, exit. Yeah, it's still taking it in 2 places. It's killing me. Why is it doing that? Okay, so I think I think I'm hitting some kind of a wall with Inquire that I don't fully understand. Let's look at Inquire some more, shall we? Prompt types, prompt modules. How does it actually work? Ask a question, parsing input, installation I already get. Inquire.prompt launches the prompt interface, starts an inquiry session, registers the prompt. Okay, self-contained Inquirer module, if you don't want to affect other libraries that also rely on Inquirer when you overwrite or add new prompt types. They're not doing that. Separator. Okay, I don't really care about that. Reactive interface. We prompt some stuff. Prompts.next. Okay, internally Inquirer uses reactive. This means you can take advantage of this feature to provide more and more advanced flows. Okay. That might be one way to handle this. So, questions is here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like it because it could get so messy. There seems to be a way to add a prompt. But what happens when I need to remove a prompt? Feels like it's harder to handle that. Questions equals this mess. Grab the answers. Maybe I'll just try the promise trick here as well. Promise equals this mess. Await the promise. Chat. Ooh, okay. That seems to be the key here. Do I know why it's the key? Not exactly. But it is the key. Alright, so. I might have to wrap up pretty soon here. So let me just sort of write in some comments here to remind me what it is that I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So, in order to use Inquirer correctly, right? One, store the promise from then in a variable. 2, await that promise. I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe that's all I have to write, because that's all I'm doing down here. That seems to be the trick. Yeah, I got a few more minutes. But yeah, take it easy, Drevi. If you're taking off, by all means, have a good rest of your weekend. Wait that promise. Without any issues of overlapping inquiring, i.e. to ensure that the questions wait correctly for you to answer them before asking again / asking the next question. Alright, so I think the last thing that I wanted to add was just one last command, so let's see how quickly I can bust this out. Let's do command. Invisibly executes a chat command. Does not appear in Twitch chat. That's the idea. Alright, so let's throw in another case for command. And we're gonna have to await again. Break. Alright, so async function command. We're gonna have a very similar look to this function. Channel and message. Call this command. Actually, now that I think about it, this is probably going to be somewhat complicated, so I'm definitely not going to be able to do it. So this part right here is to do. Parse the command. The command's registered with Twitch bot and pick one here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it now. Thanks guys. You guys are awesome for hanging out. I learned something today, chat. Hi, DJ. That's goofy. What did I learn today? I learned that 2 heads is better than 1. You guys are awesome. Super helpful. I also learned that my green screen's kind of screwing up over here. Thanks. I need to pull it in. Hang on. We'll bring it in. There's the good hustle. Yeah. Let's grab a, what is it? BarkBot browser. Okay. We're just gonna add him back in here. Browser. BarkBot is the one I want. It's the one that I want. Throw it here. Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Kiwi. Thanks, Drevi. Thanks, everyone else who was hanging out. And I got to do some work. I got to do grading. I got to do housework. I got to go back to being an adult, I guess. So I will see you guys next time. Hopefully Monday or Tuesday or something like that. So hope you have a good rest of your weekend. I know, right? I know. It's just because, if I'm being honest, I didn't get enough work done yesterday. Anyways, you have a good weekend too. Good to see you. And I will catch you next time. Bye.